Welcome back to The Sims Resource. Today we're going to be discussing a real hot button issue in the Sims community. Which game is really better, The Sims 3 or The Sims 4? Let's get into it. Let's start off with Create-A-Sim, because I think that Create-A-Sim is actually going to be a closer call than you might expect. Now, when The Sims 4 first released, I have really vivid memories of there being a cast demo, which was really meant to show off the new Create-A-Sim features and how different they were from The Sims 3. And I do think that The Sims 4 Create-A-Sim is really, really great. I have a lot of fun with it, and I'm not even that good at cast, and so it makes me feel like I'm a lot better at it than I am. But I will say that going back and playing The Sims 3, there's actually a lot to love about The Sims 3 Create-A-Sim that isn't really talked about as much. I mean, the biggest thing that is talked about is Create-A-Style, which is also in The Sims 3 Build By, and it's just really nice to be able to change the standard swatches that come with all the different base game and expansion pack clothing and hair without having to download mods. And I think that that's actually a really, really huge feature. And I know everyone's probably talked about this, but not as much in recent years. Just how influential that color matcher is really when it comes to The Sims 3 and how customizable it made the game. And so I will say I think The Sims 4 wins this category just for ease of use, for the ability to push and pull and basically mold your Sims. But I do think that being able to color match everything in The Sims 3 and really get in there and customize makes it a really close call, though I guess The Sims 4 does win in CAS. Our next topic is Build By, and I do think that this is a much easier call, I'm gonna be honest. While I love The Sims 3 and I love building in The Sims 3, that's a lie. I don't love building in The Sims 3. I love decorating in The Sims 3 because of the ability to color match everything, but the actual build features in The Sims 3 are kind of abysmal. I mean, even down to the fact that you can't place a fireplace without having room for a chimney. And so I love downloading builds that other people have made for The Sims 3, but I don't actually love building. Whereas I really love building in The Sims 4 because it's a lot easier to fix a mistake if you screw up, and I think that makes it a lot more entry-level friendly if you're just kind of new to the game and you want to try to build something. Even if you are a beginner, it is simply much easier to figure out how to build in The Sims 4 than it is in The Sims 3, which has so many different features and confusing little rules that you can't break. And I love watching people build in The Sims 3 because I think they're super talented, but I actually build in The Sims 4, and I think that's a really important distinction. So yeah, The Sims 4 really wins out in Build By. Alright, on to gameplay, which I think will also be really, really easy to decide, I'm not gonna lie. So when it comes to gameplay, The Sims 3 is really the obvious winner here. It just has a lot more depth of gameplay, and I'm not talking about the open world because I think a lot of people associate all of the deeper gameplay features with the open world, and while that does help, I do think that there is just more of a ability to control your Sims' lives, to the detail, than there is in The Sims 4, and I think that The Sims 3 also poses more challenges than The Sims 4. It's a lot more fun to play a Legacy challenge or a Rags to Riches challenge in The Sims 3 because there's a lot more challenges posed, where in The Sims 4, those challenges are really easy to beat. Once you kind of accumulate a little bit of wealth in The Sims 4, things become a lot easier, and they tend to stay easy, and I think that that's just not realistic to life. And I understand that we're playing a simulation game, so you don't want it to be super realistic, but it is just more fun to play when my sim can get robbed or something can light on fire and half the house can be destroyed, which obviously can happen in Sims 4, but just it doesn't feel like the consequences are as real. And I think that leads to a lot of players just wishing that The Sims 4 had more depth of gameplay. Even, I mean, based on how the base game came out, which is without toddlers or pools or ghosts, I'm pretty sure. Just without a lot of features that really made the game known for what it's known for. And so I think that gameplay really easily goes to The Sims 3, and I think that's kind of sad because I want The Sims 4 to have as deep and as fun gameplay as The Sims 3 did, but it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon, and that's a little bit depressing, you know? But yeah, The Sims 3 wins out on gameplay. So now we're on to the technical ease of running a game, and this is going to be a really easy one too. Unfortunately, when I downloaded The Sims 3 in 2022, I had a lot of roadblocks in the way. See, the thing is, EA didn't really future-proof the game in any realistic or reasonable way, so even though there are a lot of games from this era that you can still run pretty well on any PC, The Sims 3 is not optimized at all. It was not really future-proofed, and that means that in order to play it, you have to do a lot of adjusting in order to make it run properly. I had to download a fan-made patch, I had to go into the settings and make it so that the game would recognize my graphics card. I had to do probably about an hour and a half's worth of work just to get the game running properly and make it run smoothly. And obviously once I did, it was fine. But if you're not looking for that kind of time investment, it can be a real pain. Because even though The Sims 3 is like a really fun game, sometimes you just want to open up a game and play it, you know? And The Sims 4, while it does run on many computers pretty easily, it is optimized. It actually isn't that well optimized. It actually fried my MacBook's battery, and I had to pay like a lot of money to get it replaced because I played a lot of Sims 4 on my MacBook when I was at college before I had a PC, and it literally fried the battery. So I don't have great things to say about The Sims 4 other than the fact that it is easier to run on, I guess, more computers. But I would say to be careful, because if you're running it on a laptop and you hear those fans going and you feel your lap burning a little bit, maybe close the game for a little bit, because it could be frying your battery and you could have to go to the Apple Store and pay them a lot of money to fix your computer. So The Sims 4 wins out here just for like the ease of being able to download and just start playing it. But I would not say by any means that it's like a well-optimized game that won't break your computer, because it's not. And our final category is onto price. So I think we know who's gonna win this one, don't you? So the Sims 3 right now, you can get, I think, almost every expansion pack on Steam for about $60 if the Steam sale is happening, which I believe it is right now for the Lunar New Year. But The Sims 4, if you pay full price for everything, because I recently calculated this, costs you just about $930 for every single pack. And as someone who's been kind of collecting all the packs as they've come out, oh dear God, it is so much money. And as soon as I calculated that number, I like recoiled in shame because I realized how much money I had spent over the past like 7 years on this game. When like I was in college, I was broke. I don't know what, I could have bought so many meals with that money. Like, what was wrong with me? And obviously I do love The Sims 4, but oh my God, it is so expensive. And I think that like as a game that a lot of teenagers want to play, it's a little bit cost prohibitive to like get into, because no one really plays The Sims with just the base game, or if you do, like you spend most of your time like coveting the expansion packs. At least that was my experience when I was a teenager. Like every time I got an Amazon gift card and I wanted to like get a new expansion pack, I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, I can finally be like all the Sims players on YouTube or all the people I see who are doing these really cool builds, because I can finally have that expansion pack and I'll finally be like one of them. And it is like hard to kind of escape that FOMO, especially because The Sims 4, like a lot of gameplay features have been pulled out and like put into expansion packs that used to be in the base game for The Sims 3. Whereas for The Sims 3, you can actually like play the base game and have a pretty good amount of fun. And I think that that's an important distinction to make. You can play The Sims 3 base game and still enjoy yourself, and The Sims 4 base game is a lot harder to play by itself and like still enjoy yourself. And I don't know, it's just a little bit sad, right? I mean, even in the Steam sale, The Sims 4 is cheaper than The Sims 3, which is just a really like silly thing when you consider that The Sims 3 came out in 2009 and The Sims 4 came out in 2014. It's just a little bit strange when you consider that, but you know, I mean, it's really up to like what you want to pay, but I will say The Sims 4 is really ridiculously expensive, and The Sims 3 right now is less so. I will say when it was coming out, it was really expensive, don't get me wrong, but as of today, it is significantly cheaper to play The Sims 3. So I will say it wins out on price. The Sims 3 easily wins out on price. So, you may be thinking that, just based on all the points I've kind of awarded per category, that it seems like The Sims 4 is going to win here. But I'm gonna be controversial yet brave and say that it's actually a tie based on what matters to you more. So, I would recommend The Sims 4 if you're running on like a laptop and you just kind of want to open up a game and play it, and you don't really have time to like reconfigure things or to mess with settings. But if you want to play The Sims 3 and you have the time and the energy to put into it, I have to say The Sims 3 is worth it. I had so much fun playing The Sims 3 this month. Like, more fun than I've had in The Sims 4 in like a really long time, and I don't think it's just the nostalgia of, oh, I really loved The Sims 3 when I was younger. No, I fully enjoyed myself more than I did with The Sims 4, and I think that that's really insane because even with all the little things that I'd forgotten or like the little hardships about like how to install CC, I still had more fun in The Sims 3. And that's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, it's actually a tie, which I think is kind of a cop-out, and I know it is, but I think it just depends on what you want. So if you want an easier gameplay, get The Sims 4, but if you want a deeper and more immersive gameplay, get The Sims 3. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you can like and subscribe. Bye!